Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Heather. I'm a quantum healing hypnosis practitioner. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I would absolutely love your support and be so grateful for that. I wanted to create a video today about timeline collapsing. What to do if your timeline completely falls apart. What to do when everything falls away. I've been sharing some of this information in my weekly energy check ins that I've been doing, tapping in with some beautiful galactic guides, councils, beings of light to bring through some channeled messages to just help us all move through these shifting times. And I wanted to create a video on timeline collapse from my perspective and from my guide's perspective. This is something that many of us, maybe not all, go through occasionally. Is a timeline collapse or what feels like a collapsing of your timeline. And when you go through an experience like this, it can feel insanely intense, overwhelming. It can bring to the surface a lot of fear, a lot of frustration, and a lot of worry. But a timeline collapse is actually a very positive thing. I know it does not feel like it. It feels like, what the heck is happening in my life? But it is a good thing. And I'm going to tell you why that is. So, what is a timeline collapse? Okay, so timelines. I'm so fascinated with timelines. I have been for quite some time. I have done lots of channeled messages about timelines and just wanting to understand it because it's so expansive. It's very quantum. We're not just walking down one timeline. It feels that way. It feels like you're living this linear life experience. You were born, you walk your path, your journey through life, and then your life ends and you move on to the next experience. That's not quite how it works. Our lives are multifaceted, multidimensional. You don't just have one version of yourself walking that one linear line or that one linear pathway. There are multiple versions, if not infinite versions of you that are experiencing variations of your life right now. It's happening in this now moment. Um, what I've come to understand is you have what you can consider lower timelines where maybe life is a little harder, it's a little more challenging. You're having experiences that you have to really move through and work through. And then you have your higher timelines where maybe life is easier, you are living more in a flow state. Everything is aligned and life is really good. And then there's everything in between. And because our frequency shifts, our vibration shifts, we're constantly moving through those timelines, some lower, some higher. And really, you don't typically notice very much. Most timelines look exactly the same. Now, if you're very perceptive, sometimes you will notice things shifting on your timeline, like maybe something appears that you think, I don't think that was there before. Or maybe something disappears that you know is there, but it's no longer there. Things are sort of shifting around in your environment. Have you ever driven by somewhere and you're like, that building wasn't there before, but it is now? You could have made a timeline jump, and that thing, that person, that place, whatever it is now in your reality. It is in that timeline that you are aligned with. So we're always shifting, right? Things are always shifting, whether you recognize it, notice it, or not. But sometimes our soul gets ready to make a quantum jump. It's as if we have gotten to the end of this one particular timeline and it's time to experience life in a brand new way. Maybe your soul is getting ready to step forward into a brand new version of who you are becoming or who you were always meant to be. And so you have come to the end of a certain part of your path and you're getting ready to evolve into a new part of your path. But to get from here to here, is not always easy because maybe you are making a big jump. Maybe you're getting ready to make a big leap. And wouldn't it be nice if we could just step off of this path and onto the other? But it doesn't always happen that way. And that is when we go through what is called a timeline collapse. And it is a falling apart of your current timeline in order to realign you with the new timeline or the new trajectory, wherever it is that you're heading. And so, what does that look like? Well, it can look like loss of jobs or loss of stability, things in your life that were always stable and foundational, crumbling. It can look like relationships ending and people stepping out of your life. It can look like moving or losing your home and being sort of forced into another home or another place. There are many ways that we can experience timeline collapses, and unfortunately, they are not always very easy or fun. I have experienced this now a couple of times in my life, and both times have been equally as intense, where things that were very stable and structured all of a sudden began to crumble around me. And you go through this and you look around and you go, what is happening here? Because everything seemed to be fine. One minute you're just living your life and everything feels good and anchored in place. And then the next thing you know, it just all falls apart. And you think, well, what just happened? I've said before, as I've gone through this, I'm like, well, who did I make mad in the universe that all of this has to crumble? But as I have moved through it, which again, not always easy or comfortable, and gotten to the other side and looked back, I've realized everything that fell away had to fall away because I was evolving into a new, higher, better version of myself, the version of myself that was ready to step forward onto a new path and into a new experience. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing because it leads us into the place that we are meant to be. And so the letting go and the clearing and releasing is very uncomfortable. And because our human doesn't have full awareness of what's happening, we can be really hard on ourselves. We can beat ourselves up. We can sort of retract and try to hold on to the things that are falling away because we're just not sure what's happening. And all of that is perfectly normal, but it also keeps us stuck more holding on to the old timelines, not letting them release so that we can fully align with the new higher timeline. I experienced this when I went through my first awakening back in 2017, 2018, where I had a complete timeline collapse. And it was all of those things that were part of my life before my awakening. Well, they weren't coming with me into my awakening journey and into the quantum healing hypnosis work that I would eventually be doing. And so I had to let go and release all of those things so I could evolve and expand on my own, free of any of the older distractions. And I could really move into this new part of who I was becoming. And as I moved into that, as I aligned with that version, and then I started looking back, I was so grateful, not for the loss or not for going through what I did, but for the letting go and releasing of anything that could have potentially prevented me from stepping into this new version, which was amazing. It was an exciting time in my life where I was starting to do quantum healing hypnosis and learn about all of the galactic guides and really start connecting. And all of that sort of path for me expanded. So I was really grateful that everything fell out of my life because it opened me up into something so magical and so expansive. And then I got to start working with so many beautiful clients around the world. It really was an amazing time in my life. And so this year, I have gone through another restructuring of my life, many things sort of shifting and transitioning. And it wasn't always an easy experience because sometimes you wonder, you go, what is happening? What is going on here? But as I reach the end of 2025, I look back and I realize that everything that shifted was all in perfect and divine alignment because it's allowed me to transition into a higher version of who I am becoming, a new version of self, a higher timeline. That's been something that I've been working on this year is aligning or anchoring or um, aligning with the highest timeline, the highest path forward. And so, as I have moved through this transition, it has offered me the opportunity to expand in ways that I wouldn't have been able to expand if things had remained exactly the way they had remained. And of course, it never feels like that when you're first going through it. But again, when you get to the end, you go, okay, now I see it. Now I understand. So I wanted to share this information because I feel like many of you are going through this exact type of transition. Maybe it's not so big and in your face. Maybe it's something a little more subtle, but things are shifting. Or you've been in this sort of void state. You've been kind of in this holding pattern where things just aren't moving forward. A lot of integration has been happening this year. And in order to integrate new frequencies, new codes, and new activations that come forward from your star family, you have to slow down. You have to rest. You have to take it easy. I don't know about you, but that is not always easy for me. I like to go, go, go. But sometimes we're forced into it because we have to allow the integration of the new self. So the old timeline has to fall away. Things have to kind of collapse around you. Unfortunately, I have talked with my guides many times and said this needs to change. But I do think that it will change the higher we get in our frequency. The more we anchor into the higher dimensional spaces, I don't think we're going to have to go through it quite in the way that our lower human self has to go through it. Our more third, fourth dimensional self is moving through these transitions. At least I'm going to say that that's so. But everything that you're going through is pushing you in a new direction. It is asking you to go within. It is asking you to become really clear as to what it is that you want for your path moving forward. This is what it's forced me to do. As many things have fallen away and many things have shifted and changed, it has forced me within to ask myself, who am I truly becoming? And who do I want to be? And how do I want to show up for those I'm here to support? And as I've continued to ask those questions, I've gained more and more clarity over my path forward, how I want to support my beautiful community, how I want to support my Quantum Soul Portal members, and how I want to bring work forward as I move forward into 2026. So, the clarity that I have had over the last month, 2 months, has just been amazing. And it is because of the things that have been removed or cleared or transitioned away, so that I went within and I began asking those questions, and the clarity I began to receive that from my team. Doesn't always happen right away, but when the time is right, you will get those answers. I promise you will. Um, so I know some of you have reached out or have left comments that you feel like you're in that void space, that in between space. You feel called to step out on your soul path and mission, but you're not quite yet in alignment with that. It hasn't unfolded, or you don't have that clarity. Or maybe you're going through a reality that is self destructing around you, and you're thinking, what is happening here? Just trust and know that it is moving you to where you need to be. And the best thing that you can do is to try to just love yourself through it. Love yourself more than you've ever loved yourself before. Um, and trust and know that your soul, your higher self, has a plan. You have a plan. You didn't come here to play small. You didn't come here. Well, maybe you did. Maybe you came here to play small, but some of you didn't. Some of you came here with mission. Some of you came here to support others. Some of you came here to be new earth leaders. Some of you came here with big missions that you haven't quite tapped into or activated yet, and that's okay. I hear this all the time. Divine timing. Sometimes we get annoyed with divine timing, right? Like you hear divine timing all the time, and you're like, when is the time? Divine timing is at play, of course, and everything is always right on time. Move through it with ease, get in a flow state, surrender and let go, and try to get into that place of trust. Talk with your guides. Do you talk with your guides? I talk with mine every single day, all day long. I like to have chats with them. I like to wake up and say good morning. I invite them into my day. And they have told me this is why things move and shift for me so easily because I invite them into my day from the very beginning of waking up. I want their guidance. I want their assistance in helping me to align with the next steps that I need to take on my journey. I have learned very much to trust my own inner knowing and my own inner guidance. My connection to my higher self is strong. Your connection is strong too. And I want to say I've got a weekly energy check in coming up this Friday. And it's all about when you feel that you're not connected to your guides. Do you know how many times I hear that? I hear it all the time from clients who say, I'm disconnected. I can't hear my higher guidance. My guides have vanished. They are no longer here with me. And I just laugh because I get it. I have had periods where it's been crickets with my team. Like I'm like, where are you guys at? But they're always there. They never leave. That's their job. You are their job. So they're not going anywhere. And your higher self never disconnects from you. Uh, you may be a little blocked. It may be because you're not trusting, or it may be because you're not taking the time to really connect and listen. So there's a variety of reasons, and I'm going to go over that in depth on Friday in the next weekly energy check in with the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians are coming forward to talk to us about this topic and how to connect from the heart, because the heart is a beautiful connection portal. And when you open your heart and you allow that connection to come in, it will come back. I promise you, you're not disconnected. But so timeline collapses. If you feel like you're going through it, instead of feeling like, oh my gosh, everything is falling apart and I don't understand why I'm going through this. Like, what did I do to deserve this? Instead, say, you know what? Everything is falling apart so that I can be aligned with a better and higher version of myself that is living a more expansive and beautiful life. And I'm excited about that. And as you start to lean into that energy, then start to get clear on who that version is, what they look like, what they feel like, what they're how they're living, all the things. And you start to anchor that in. You start to align with that version. How would that version of you feel to live that life every day? It is so easy to get in your mind and go, oh my God, everything looks like this, and this is falling apart, and I can't do this. It's so easy. But that keeps you stuck in that loop. That keeps you stuck in that loop. So it's time to break out of that loop. 2026 has such amazing energetic potential for expansion and growth when we get in alignment and when we begin to align with the highest version of ourself living on that highest timeline. And you can do that. It may mean a collapse of your current reality. I'm sorry. I wish I could say that that's not what happens, but it does. You may be one that might move a little slower, but some souls like mine go, bring it, bring it. I've got this. I can do it. Um, it is all for your greatest and highest good. So get excited about that because I don't know about you. I didn't come here to stay stagnant and just keep living the same old life. I want to expand and grow and experience new and amazing things. And that sounds really fun to me. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this helps you if you are feeling that you are in that timeline collapse. Just trust and know that it is leading you somewhere amazing and move into that energy, stay into that energy, begin to really create and design the life that you want, because you're not really creating and designing it. You're really remembering it because it already exists somewhere out there in the sea of timelines. That version of you already exists. You just have to align to them. All right. Well, I hope you found this information helpful. Be on the lookout for more of these videos coming soon. I'm going to start sharing more information to help you in a variety of different ways. Let me know in the comments what you're moving through, what you're experiencing, or if there's something specific that you would love help with. Let me know. I'd be happy to bring it through for you. I'm going to add this video to my blog at Quantum Healing Within. I will have more information there and a transmission from my Pleiadian and Arcturian guides if you would like to read that to expand on this topic of timeline collapse, and just trust that everything is aligning you to exactly where you need to be. All right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.